Emily, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. It's a pleasure meeting you finally face to face.
Great.
So, how did you get your job sailing in the Caribbean?
So it was actually a camp, a summer camp, and I was a camper at it from the moment I graduated high school. It was kind of like a graduation gift that my parents gave to me. Graduated high school, grade 8, big accomplishment. But I was a camper there from like grade 8 up until all throughout high school, and it was just an experience that I loved. I continuously learned so much from it, and there's different programs. Each one teaches you so many different things. So I knew as soon as I was a camper there for the first year, I was like, this is something that I want to do for throughout college or university.
Yeah. So was it just the whole experience in itself that encompassed you to make that decision?
Yeah, it was for sure. Like the people, just looking up to the counselors themselves. It's always so cool they're pretty young, obviously. I'm 21, so being a counselor there, you can really relate to the students because they're all going into high school and high school students. So everybody's really around the same age.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And yeah. So all that experience just was awesome.
That's awesome. That is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Sweet. So, with that being said, what was the name of the camp?
It's called Sail Caribbean.
Sail Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have seen that one.
Look it up. Yeah.
Sail
It's pretty
Caribbean.
awesome.
Fine. So, we'll take it back then, which said, what was your transition like from high school to university? Where you are now?
University.
Spare no details.
Yeah. It was actually a pretty intimidating process, I found. Throughout high school, it was always, obviously, it's a huge question. You're doing everything. It's all your courses, all your course selection, whatever you decide is leading up to whether you're going to college or university and what you're doing while you're there. So, it was terrifying for me to actually think about that because I had no idea what I wanted to do. In grade 12, I did a co-op at a physiotherapy department because I thought it was maybe something along the lines that I wanted to do. And it definitely is still a big interest of mine, but after doing the co-op, I hated it. It was just so repetitive. There was nothing new about it. It was, I think part of it had to do with the area that I did it in. It was my hometown during then.
Okay.
It's a pretty retirement-based area, so a lot of the rehabilitation that you're doing is just getting them back up to a functional level. So get them put their clothes back on by themselves, get them to go up the stairs on their own, kind of thing like that. So it's cool, but I realized that it's not what I wanted to do. And I did that in grade 12, so that was kind of well, shoot, now what do I actually want to do? So my mom pushed me really to still apply for schools. I know she knew that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go and everything like that. But she's don't close the door for yourself. Apply to school. Apply to as many as you want. She's I know it's costly to apply to a bunch of different ones, but she's if it's something that you're interested in, just apply to it, whatever, we'll figure everything out. So I applied, and I got accepted into programs that I applied to.
Nice. What did you apply for at that time?
At that time, when first applying, I applied to Laurentian for ADPL without concurrent education, and sports psychology. That's okay. And I don't even remember what the third one was. I know I applied to 3.
3 here, 3 total.
2 at Laurentian, and I think 1 was maybe at Western. I can't remember. Definitely can't remember. But I knew Laurentian was kind of the area that I wanted to go to eventually. I didn't know when, but
what? What do you think that was?
My mom's from Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh,
and,
nice. That's a couple hours. 2
or 3 hours from here. Yeah. So just being up, we used to do some camping trips and stuff up in the Sioux. I had came to Laurentian for a tour prior to applying and everything like that. So it was something that I was definitely interested in, and I immediately loved the vibe on campus. It was great. I couldn't even compare it to anything else.
For someone who didn't go here, surprise.
Yeah.
Everybody, what is the vibe like here on campus? Because I can imagine it's a little different from the college I went to.
Yeah, Algonquin. I actually had a friend close to Algonquin.
Oh, nice.
But
Shout out to them.
yeah. Laurentian. I don't know. I just feel like it's a very easygoing life. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, so unjudgmental. That was like the
Really?
biggest thing that I like found. I don't know if it was just a vibe that I got from the tour guides, or I had kept in contact, like during my second tour, I kept in contact from a girl that was accepted into ADBL as well. We're like best friends now. But anyways, I did the tour and I like visited her, and she kind of gave me a little bit of a tour and I hung out with everybody, and it was, I had no idea what to expect, but it was awesome. I had so much fun the 3 hours that I was just chilling on campus.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So then, that's kind of why what made you choose ADBL? Actually,
Maybe choose ADBL.
because it was one of the ones you applied to, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the one you applied to. You weren't like, oh, I know what I'm doing, but I'll do this because.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly don't know if it was like one specific thing that like pushed me to do ADBL. I think the biggest part of ADBL was how diverse it is. It's in the School of Human Kinetics, but it's also like an outdoor adventure based leadership. It really focuses on leadership. My mom kept telling me a leadership degree is going to look great on your resume. So I was like, okay, that's pretty true.
Right.
And like, I am obviously like super passionate about being outside, and traveling, different things like that. So that was like almost just an added bonus. And again, like how I mentioned about going and doing my co-op in a physiotherapy department, whatever. Obviously, like the human body like really interests me. So to have a university degree based on that, as well as pursuing outdoor adventure that I absolutely love, I think it was just like a perfect combination of the two.
Do you have a story or a moment that kind of stood out to you that represents ADBL to you?
That's such a tough question. I honestly don't know if it's one specific experience. I think it's kind of just. Actually, let me think about this a little bit harder.
Or
Tough one.
the toughest questions get the best answers.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. What are yours?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was definitely like one specific moment or one specific experience. I think first year ADBL is like in class and you're just really, it's all first year anatomy and exercise science and stuff like that. So there's nothing specific to the outdoors, but obviously ADBL is a pretty tight-knit community.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of knows each other. There's 25 people accepted each year, so everybody knows each other really well. So I think going into second year and getting to experience each other like on a more personal level, like actually being able to go on a trip with each other. I just feel like everybody gains like a very intimate relationship with each other, whether it's like on an intellectual level or anything. Like I just feel like people are they're themselves. They're the most pure that they'll ever be in their life when they're on trip together. So I feel like because of that, there's nothing hidden from everybody. So I feel like that's just what reminds me of ADBL is like how close everybody is and how well everybody gets along.
So, well, what do you think causes people to form that bond with each other?
From that bond, I think.
Just they're out in the wilderness, freedom, and then like.
Well, yeah, freedom, but also like you're out there and it's just you and nature. Like you can't. Obviously, it's a given. Everybody's gonna have like a bad moment.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be a point on trip where you are really not enjoying yourself.
Right.
And
You're out alone.
people like to not think about that, but it's so true. Like there's a moment on trip that you're like, what am I doing?
Do you have a specific trip where one of those moments for you stood out? It could be yourself or somebody else.
Yeah, I do. Well, personally, like, for example, in the summer, like, I feel like it's just continuously me being pushed outside my comfort zone.
Right.
And sometimes it just gets to, like, the breaking point where you're like, I don't know if I can actually, like, do this any longer. Like, here for 3 months, and I became a captain this summer, and I think it was, like, on my first week of being a captain, I was like, what have I signed up for? I cannot do this for the rest of the summer.
That difficult?
Yeah, like just managing kids, but
Yeah, it's its own challenge.
minus like the working job, we did a trip to the La Cloche Mountains
Oh, nice.
in second year, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I don't know why. Like obviously it was beautiful. I think there was one day that I struggled. I was definitely getting over sickness before going on to the trip, so that definitely played a role. I was exhausted, but also it was kind of rainy and overcast, and backpack was really heavy, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this today.
Right.
And
everything just added up, and it was.
Yeah, it was just one thing after another.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like I kept to myself, or like that was my plan. Like that's what I wanted to do because I didn't want to affect anybody else's experience on it because
Right.
they could have been having the time of their life. But for me, I was like, I want this trip to be over. So, yeah, I just feel like people show like their vulnerability.
Sure.
There's no hiding whatever emotions people are showing.
Right. And then when you guys go through that kind of an experience together, you form a bond that, like, when I went to South America, there was like the women on that trip. Yeah, it was me and 9 other women.
Yeah.
On paper, gentlemen, it sounds great. It's great. They're amazing. Like each and every single one of them, amazing people, and it was a lot. But I have a bond with each of them now. That's like, hey, remember that time we did this in the rainforest for 2 weeks? Yeah. I don't have that with like my brother or anything,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's those type of experiences that they're like, you go through them, and then when you're going through them, you're like, oh, this sucks. It's like super cold, or I have all these kids, or it's raining, or my bag's heavy,
Yeah.
or these boots are full of rocks now, or
Yeah.
it's 40 degrees and raining, which is the shit I had to put up with. Crap. Yeah, and then that kind of stuff. And then it's like, when you're done it, you look back and go, man, I love those people and I love those 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I love that trip. Yeah, no, I know what you mean though when you say vulnerabilities are just, you're exposed.
Yeah, there's
More.
no hiding your true
You
self.
can't shade your
Yeah.
true self. Yeah, I like that. That's
Yeah.
good. That's really good. So, what's probably your favorite trip you've done with ADVL? We'll get
With
to
ADVL.
overall later.
That's funny. We actually have been asked this question earlier in the week. And my favorite trip with ADVL, I think, was we did a French River trip. So it was a canoeing trip. I think it was 4 days for the French River area. And I had personally never been on a canoe trip before that. I have like outdoor experience, but a lot of the time it's much different than my peers have had. So, yeah. So, and a lot of them have like canoeing-based experience. So
Yeah.
this whole like canoe tripping thing was totally new to me. I didn't really know what to expect. But we had done survival in the bush prior to that, so we were like, and we did at one of our props camps for it, which was kind of nice. And it's like a week, and it's just kind of, it's pretty mentally draining.
Yeah.
But yeah, going on to the French River trip, everybody was like, I think that moment everybody became super close. So the French River trip was like just a really awesome time for us to be with each other again after having a few days apart. And then being able to reflect on the previous trip before that, but as well as for me experiencing something completely new, something completely different.
Right. Yeah, so do you think that's why it was more mentally draining? Was because like it was something new?
It might have been, yeah. Also, being around people and like you're in a boat for, I'm such a social person, but don't get me wrong, I definitely like my alone time.
Yeah,
and
you need
sometimes
that.
it's like hard to get that on trip, especially like sharing a tent and things like that, and being in a cooking group, and there's little things about little like different people that obviously start to arise and they like bother you. Yeah, but it's something that you just have to learn how to deal with. So.
And what do you think is something that, like a technique you would use to put up or cope? Use cope
Yeah,
to cope.
that's a good one. To cope.
And you find this person bites their nails really loud, and you just now all of a sudden on day 3 start noticing it, and you got 4 days left of this.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that?
chewing is a big one for me. That's one of those
Like loud
things.
chewing?
Yeah, I hate loud chewing. But I don't know, just I guess coping with that is I just really try not to like let it affect me.
Right.
Like, yes, it bothers me right now, but whenever whatever is happening is done, it's not gonna bother me anymore. It's just somebody's trait. Like I don't really like put it to one person.
That's good.
I just kind of
That's a good way to look at it.
try and keep my mouth shut while it's happening, and I'm just like keep it that way.
You're fine. That's good though, because you think on day 7 of someone biting their nails really loud or something. It's like, will you stop?
Seriously.
But nothing. Okay.
No.
That's good.
I
Okay.
try not to anyways.
So then, how do you isolate yourself to regain that mental fortitude? Do you have any strategies, like you guys sing out loud and you're like, I'm relaxed more? Or oh yeah, how do you find, what is your strategy to cope?
Yeah, coping, but then how to like get away from it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any strategies?
I don't know if I have like a specific strategy. Might be a specific strategy.
Because like I know because when I worked at summer camp and I'd go a certain amount of time without like weightlifting, like being specifically to a gym where my headphones were on and it was just me, that would be my way of, maybe yeah, sleep is great.
Yeah.
But in that circumstance when you can't have it, that was kind of my outlet.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, I really like personally try and practice mindfulness, honestly. So I don't know if I do it in like a traditional manner or anything, but definitely no.
Okay.
But if like something is like bothering me at hand, especially if I'm on trip, I really just try and be like, take a look around yourself for a moment. Like, is there really anything to be complaining about? And that kind of just puts everything back into
You like a stop and reflect.
Yeah,
I guess
stop
we
and
call it.
reflect. Yeah.
That could be a fun little like activity for kids at camp.
Yeah,
Man,
for sure.
I don't know why I ever got out of like the working and camping scheme. I don't know.
It's great. You learn a lot.
Yeah, I bet. What's ADBL like? Because all I hear is you guys are on trip, and I know from following Ben and you and PJ and other people, I'm like, your gear is like sick. I love it. And you guys look like you do a bunch of different trips and stuff, and I'm wondering what the program is like specifically.
Like course-based
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, schedule, everything.
Well, with concurrent education, it honestly is a lot of work. It's way more work than I could have imagined coming into it. Every year you're in a course overload, only with the concurrent education. So if you weren't in concurrent education, it's not a course overload.
How many courses?
So first year you have like anatomy 1, anatomy 2, exercise science. What else are you taking? There's labs to go along with those. Human movement, perspective, and sport and physical education. So it's kind of just the books. First year is the books. Second year is when you specifically get into everything else. So starting your second year, you actually go on they've actually just eliminated it, but the survival in the bush that I was talking about earlier, you come back mid-August and you're on that for a week, and then I think you have 2 or 3 days prep before going on the French River trip, which is 4 days. So there's like 2 weeks already. And then once you come back from the French River trip, school starts.
That's second year?
Yeah, that's
Summer.
second year. So yeah, they call it like late summer session.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so then coming in second year, your courses are definitely more outdoor based. So you have,
That's good.
yeah, you get your wilderness first responder, which is a really, really cool course.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one, yeah. It's a lot. It's like
We'll break down
3
what that
hours.
is about in a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
there's a point I wanted to do it, and like I looked up and I almost paid for it, but then I'm like, nah, I wasn't able to be compensated for doing it.
Yeah.
So that was my
That's
issue.
a big part. Yeah, for sure. And second year you have more courses like cross-country skiing. You have wilderness camping, which is where you plan and go on your La Cloche trip. But then at the same time, there's like Physiology 1, Physiology 2, labs to go along with those.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm trying to think what other classes we had. Oh, biology. We had 6 credits of biology, so you get to pick whatever biology credits you want. But most people do biology 1 and then whatever they want to do after that. So yeah, it's definitely heavy schoolwork as well.
Yeah.
Not just going on trips. We like to glorify that part. But
Oh, I believe. Well, I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's like a pretty glorified piece. It
Yeah.
should be. Nice.
Exactly.
But so, what do you for the first responder course?
Mhm.
What the hell was that like?
I really liked it. So actually, before working at Sail Caribbean, it's mandatory that all staff has a wilderness first aid, which is I don't know how many hours it is. It might only be 20 hours, but anyways. So I had done that prior to coming into second year.
Okay.
So coming into the wilderness first responder course, there was a lot that was like very similar, but the part with the wilderness first responder is I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's 24 or 48 hours that you're supposed to be able to like help monitor somebody and do your absolute due diligence to keep them alive for as long as you can. So a lot of like the wilderness first responders have a huge certification in the outdoor world. Like a lot of jobs will pay you more if you have a wilderness first responder,
Right.
but a lot of jobs also will need you to have a wilderness first responder before being able to be there. Well, sometimes depending on the
That's how
job,
they get you.
but yeah.
Okay. What is the difference between wilderness first aid and standard first aid, CPRC?
Okay, so CPRC is your basic, like somebody's choking, or somebody's not breathing, obviously call 911, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Do what you can in that time to keep them alive, generally, obviously using CPR and learning how to care for wounds and stuff like that. But wilderness first aid is you're outside, you have limited resources, you should have obviously like a first aid kit, but sometimes those issues, like let's say a broken leg, if you're in like what do you call it, the real world, I guess.
Yeah.
You're in the real world, you're gonna have access to getting to a hospital in relatively good time. But depending where you are outside, your resources are limited, and also how time consuming it's gonna be to actually get somebody to a hospital. So the wilderness first aid kind of just teaches you different ways to like build splints, because often you're not, like if you're on a hiking trip, we have big wilderness first responder kits that we had to make, but if you're on a hiking trip, you're really not going to want to carry this, like, I don't know, 10-pound first aid kit in your hand the whole time. Obviously it's not really feasible. So they teach you different things, like I don't know, if somebody sprained their ankle, like how you can kind of splint it using like hiking poles or using wood or whatever. They give you a bunch of different examples on how to do different things.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're in third year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a 4-year program?
4-year undergrad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? Like, what's your ideal career? Let's say that. Yeah. What's your ideal career?
It's a tough question, honestly. Like we're talking, nobody really knows what they want to do.
Yeah. Like you can do anything and get paid for it. I think that's the key. When people say career, it's you're being paid to do something.
Being paid to do something.
I think when you're doing something you love, it's its own thing. Like I'm passionate about what I'm doing right now in this moment, but I'm not getting paid for it yet.
Yeah.
So.
It's a keyword. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people expect me to say something in the outdoors, which again, I think it's a huge passion of mine, but I don't know if it's something that I want to continue to do for like my entire life.
Right.
So I'm into karate, so I think for me personally, opening up a karate school would probably be a big one. And it might not have anything to do with my degree or teaching at the same time, but that's where my heart is right now. I don't know if I want to teach on the side or anything like that, but opening one of those, that's my goal.
Like your own, or would you try to branch off an existing? Not specifically branching off like a karate gym and just being like, oh, and we also have this world champion coach. But as in like, hey, this gym is an MMA gym and it teaches karate led by.
I see.
Like you would head the karate, you wouldn't just be one of the instructors.
Yeah, I definitely want to like head it. My coach now has actually I don't know, I showed interest in him, being like, you know what, it's something I want to do. He's kind of offered to help me out, get something started under his name, so it's Bernardo Karate.
Nice.
Good place, check it out. Bernardo Karate, so that would be awesome, because then like half of like starting your own business is getting the name out there. So I
Right.
think if the name is already partially out there, it's a lot easier. I don't know like super in depth of what he would expect or anything like that, but
Right.
I definitely want to open my own, but through his name.
Right, like an affiliate.
Yeah.
Almost. Nice. I get that.
Franchise kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, what was the process like from when you first began karate to where your career in karate is now?
Where it is now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I used to be a competitive gymnast, and I was pretty young at that point. I was probably 2007. Can't do the math that quick. I don't know how old I was. But 2007, I was doing 9 hours of gymnastics, an hour away from my house, and throughout the summer, and obviously at a young age, all I wanted to do was hang out with my friends. So that was a struggle for me to like get to gymnastics. So my mom was like, you know, like whatever, we don't need to do gymnastics, but I definitely want to like keep you involved in something. She's like, how do you feel about trying karate? So I was like, oh, okay, we'll give it a shot. I had like a few friends from school who had done it, but never like sparked an interest in me until she was like, I'm gonna sign you up for it. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, open mind to it. Nice.
Yeah, and I loved it. I fell in love with it immediately. I was pretty good at it, I would assume. Obviously, I think. I don't really like to speak highly of myself all that much.
I mean, you should. It's better speaking highly than speaking negatively, right?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I definitely like. I wasn't too bad, so I definitely excelled in that throughout. And yeah, moving up through the belts was awesome, and I think I did my first tournament as a white stripe, and I was against orange belts, and I got a first place. So I was like,
Nice. Okay.
nice. That was a big confidence
Okay,
booster.
yeah. What's the belt order in karate? I only know jiu-jitsu belt order.
Yeah, so different styles have different things,
Yeah.
have different orders, but my style, the belt order is, there's a stripe in between each of them, so I'll just go through the main ones.
All right.
But it's white,
All right,
yellow, orange, red, green, purple, blue, brown.
Blue, brown, black.
Yeah, but your brown is like, you get a brown stripe, and then you have your brown stripe advanced, and then you can get your black.
Okay.
It's,
Interesting.
yeah, it's kind of
It's a
just like,
long-
you kind of, I think the goal is to have your
It's
brown
long.
belt for a full year before grading up to your black belt.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, that's the goal usually.
Cool. How long would you say, on average, it takes somebody to go from 0 to they achieve their black, like they're successful with it?
Obviously it depends on the skill level.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if somebody's not very skilled in it, they're probably not going to
Mhm.
continue with it. I'd say on average, it's pretty fair to say between 4 to 5 years to get a black belt. Yeah. Depending on how fast people go.
Right, and how consistent and everything.
Yeah.
So when did you competed, how recently at Worlds?
At Worlds, I actually just competed. It was November 2nd to November 8th.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah,
Gets
last
off the
week I
plane,
think.
comes here.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Where was it?
This year is in New York, Niagara Falls. So just right over the border.
Yeah, cool.
It's pretty awesome.
What was the tournament style like? Brackets, everything?
Like how it kind of
Yeah.
runs. So there's probably a little confusing. There's like forms, there's weapons, and each form has like, there's so much more to it than you would expect, you know.
Yeah.
Well, this is like just speaking for sport karate, I
Right.
guess. So I do like more sports oriented side of it. I know
Mhm.
a lot of it, like people think of karate as like really self-defense oriented,
Yeah.
which it is, but
Right.
different styles are more self-defense. So mine's like more the sports side of things.
Yeah.
So there's forms and there's weapons, and then like within forms it can be broken down to like traditional and a bunch of
Yeah.
different like extreme and different things like that. And same with weapons. So day one of competition was the elimination rounds for that. So in order to move on, you have to place top 4 in your forms and weapons divisions to move it on to finals.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
Nice.
forms is pretty intense because
Shit.
sometimes, yeah. Honestly, it's so, especially in like the adult divisions, you really have no idea what you're gonna get. You could have a really small division, or you could have a huge division. You really have no idea. Depends on the year and everything like that. So yeah, so everybody just does their form, and then judges obviously are recording notes and stuff, and then you get your scores. So the highest you can get is a 9.99.
There's no such thing as a perfect score.
No, they won't give you that.
Right, I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
That makes
it's
sense.
fair.
Yeah.
Always room for improvement.
Okay.
And then for fighting, again, depending on how many people there are, there's different numbers of fights in order to get on. So if there's like an odd number of people, somebody's gonna have a bye for the next round, everything like that. So yeah, it's just fighting your way up until you get to.
What are the rules? Like, for example,
Yeah.
the match that you won, like your final one.
Yeah.
What were the rules in those, Matt? In that fight?
In that fight, so you're in a ring. You can't exit the ring.
Okay.
I believe you get it's either 2 or 3 warnings if you exit the ring before you get a point minus from you.
Okay.
It's usually not that big of a deal. There's things like excessive contact. If you're hitting too hard, you're going to get warnings for that. And then finally you'll get a point eliminated. As far as getting points, basically everything is 1 point. So a kick to the body is 1 point, a punch to the head is 1 point. You're not supposed to hit the face, but obviously it happens. And that's kind of where like the excessive contact comes in. Like if it's like intentional,
Yeah.
obviously it's going to be something more than accidentally hitting somebody in the face kind of thing.
Right.
Everything has to be above the belt.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You boys.
Yeah, we can try it
Everything
out.
above the belt. And then 2 points is a head kick to the head, or a kick to the head. So you get 2 points for that.
Okay.
You can also get 2 points for a jump kick to the body. So if your base leg's off the ground,
Nice.
you can get 2 points that way.
You said jump kick to the head?
It's 3 points, yeah.
3.
Yeah. I mean, those are pretty rare. People like
Yeah.
tend to stick to the basics, but it's pretty crazy to get that.
What's your like go-to? Like, what was your? Rephrase this question for you.
Yeah.
What was your game plan going in?
Honestly, I don't really go in with a huge game plan. Everybody's a little different. I was actually being coached. There's a night show, and I was on stage, and my coach was like, "So, do you know what foot this girl has forward? Like, is she a kicker, is she a punch, or whatever?" And I'm like, "Honestly, I can't tell you." He goes, "It's okay. I fight the same. I have no idea about my opponent going in
nice.
beforehand." I'm like, "Okay." I guess I honestly was like, maybe this is just like fault on my part, but it wasn't
Yeah.
something that I ever really paid attention to. Sometimes, but sometimes not. But I don't know. I think my game plan is like you just have to react. Like no matter what, it's based on reaction and how you wanna. If you want to attack or if you want to stay defensive. So I'm generally more of a defensive fighter. So reaction is kind of one of my main defenses. And it's actually the girl who won like the women's all around. She's a phenomenal fighter. She's won that for so many years. Like she's the top. And I was watching her fight, and I was like, wow, I wish I could just like think before like I did something like she does. And somebody said to me, no, it's like it's all about reaction. I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. So yeah, but she like it's true. She doesn't even after talking to her, she's like, it's just whatever my body does. Like she'll watch videos and she's like, how did I even do that?
Right.
Yeah. So
Where's she from?
She's from the U.S. Yeah, I know.
She's from Toronto.
Nah.
My grade, hey, send me the show.
No, she's awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Is that karate the only martial art you do, eh?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Probably not.
Yeah.
I had this one tournament, and I lost to this guy on points, luckily. But I did, because you said you don't know about your opponent beforehand.
For the most part.
Yeah. I looked mine up, and that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. Top 5 for sure. But I look him up, and I see, like, the first photo I saw was him, like, on the podium at Nationals in the gi for jiu-jitsu. And I was like, shit. It's my second competition.
Plays a little mind game.
Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. And then we're going, and like we're fighting. And I'm like, I'm fucking And then I pull, and then like it was it was a mess. I relied on something that he knew how to defend, and I didn't have an answer for his question. And then I was like, I'm coming for you, Steve. Don't worry. So, but whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I definitely, if I know stuff about my opponent, I play it up in my head. I'm like, oh, they're so good at this.
Yeah.
It's just like, clean slate.
I think it's probably the better way to do it. I don't know why people would look up their opponent. Maybe just like pick weaknesses they have.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know what I was benefiting from. I don't think I was going in looking like, oh, I think this guy, I'm definitely taller than this guy, because that matters.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, this guy's a bit shorter, he definitely can't strangle me.
No, we all do it too.
Like,
I definitely size up my opponents. Like, everybody's kind of in the ring at the same time. I'm like, are they in my weight division or are they not in my weight division?
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
Yeah.
Do you like, what's your go-to like pump up song?
First Kiss by, I don't even know who it's by.
303. I hate that.
I know,
I'm gonna
I gotta
this.
pull it up.
I hate that I know this. It's featuring Kesha too. Watch.
No, it's not.
No?
It's an old one.
Oh, okay.
It's an oldie.
Thank God.
By Kid Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I feel way more awkward.
It's not even that good of a pump up song, but I don't know, it just gets me in a mood.
It's fair.
Ready?
Nice. So, with that being said, then, do you think you've been in it for how long?
Since 2007.
7, right? So that's 12 years.
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Shit. And you're a black belt?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. When would you ideally, for the timeline, would you like to open up the school? Or branch out?
That's a really big question that I really don't think I have an answer to, because I definitely have thought about that, but I think it's kind of just gonna happen when it happens.
Right.
Because I don't know, there's a lot more in life that I definitely want to experience before I think branching out, but at the same time I know once I do branch out, it's not impossible for me to still experience those things.
Right.
But I think it's just a matter of, I don't know, being Con Ed, I still have, after this semester I'll have 2.5 years left, which realistically is not a lot of time.
No, it'll go by quick.
Yeah,
It'll be painful 2 years, but it'll go by quick.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. There's definitely a lot that I want to do before traveling wise and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's something I can do while I have it open or if I should do it beforehand. So just logistically stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to experience first before that becomes something that takes over? Because I know, like, the way you're perceiving it, or it's being perceived to me now, is that you want that to be something that eventually encompasses itself into reality.
Yeah, for sure. I think sailing is definitely a big thing that I want to do more of before, because you can sail like on the Great Lakes and stuff like that, but I would really like to do a lot of.
Can I? I don't know.
Can you? Yeah, you
So cool. I didn't know that shit.
But honestly, Caribbean sailing is just like, it's kind of where I learned how to sail, so it intrigues me a lot. So I don't know if I want to work for like a charter company or anything like that. So I've thought about getting like my yacht master, which is like a certification that you need to get in order to be like a captain on a chartering vessel and different things like that. So stuff like that, something that I want to do.
Where
beforehand.
in the Caribbean is the sailing camp?
It's in the British Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you sail there?
Yes.
Do you have like an adult program for adults who want to learn? Because that's cool as fuck.
I
Like,
know.
Damn it.
I know.
Jealous. I'm jealous.
My mom says the same thing. She's like, I want to do it, but it's mainly for teens. They have a program available for first year college students, college and university students. So
I'm going to go back and
yeah.
enroll.
You might be able to. Sometimes there's leeway. Who really knows? But sometimes staff don't even have like sailing experience. There's other like options other than just like being a counselor on the sailboat.
Right.
Like there's other options that you don't technically need a lot of sailing experience for. But yeah.
Do you have a favorite place, or is the Caribbean like your favorite place to travel? Where do you
Favorite.
Or favorite trip that's ADVL aside, and like overall, like where have you been?
My favorite, I think, is probably the British Virgin Islands. It's, I don't know, it's a beautiful place, but it also holds like so many years of memories for me, and like a huge growing, like high school, you grow so much. like I feel like those ages is just like a big learning experience on their own, and yeah, I just feel like I've learned a lot from it and from the people there.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So, with everything that you do in terms of, you do the school and you also have an overloaded course schedule. And with karate, and then I can only imagine with homework and how everything, and then since you're claiming your social and everything, so I know that like takes precedent as well.
Yeah.
How do you manage your time?
Managing time is definitely something that I've worked on for so long. Throughout high school, it was always like, I played ringette in high school. Like I was doing high school sports, ringette, karate, whatever it was. So it was always like, I needed to do homework in the car, kind of thing like that. But then obviously like transitioning to getting your driver's license and stuff like that, you can't really have that hour in the car to do your homework.
Yeah.
It's like, where now do I do it?
Yeah.
But I think in terms of time management, my biggest savior is the calendar on my laptop. Like I can just pull up, like I'm a visual learner, so looking at something helps me understand like where I can, like what needs to take precedent over other things, and like even like week by week I kind of know what I have to do, like what I have to be at certain things for, and whether like that homework you can't tell that. So like I'll go to school, sometimes I will go to the gym in between class, and then I'll maybe have an hour and a half. So instead of going home, I try and stay on campus and do things like that just to get some work done. It's busy.
Yeah, sounds like it though. So then you just find you pick like slots that you're able to fit homework and other stuff in. And so.
Yeah, for the most part. Weekends are a big one too.
Yeah.
Good chunk of time.
Yeah.
During the day, usually. Be social at night if I want.
Yeah, that's always a choice.
Yeah.
So, man, with that being said, what was, if you could, to close, okay,
Okay.
do you have a favorite quote
Oh, dear.
or motivational speech, and it's something like that that's uplifts you,
Uplifts me.
that you refer to in the dark days on trip?
This tattoo, it means, well, Google tells me it means create your own reality, so that's what I go with.
Okay. Sweet.
And it was kind of like, I got a tattoo that I got like on the whim. It wasn't really something I had expected to do, but ever since I've gotten it, I'm like, it's a huge part of my life. Like, again, if I'm not enjoying something, I'm just like, right now I'm creating the reality that I live in, so depends on how you deal with it, that's gonna make you or break you.
Right.
Whatever you do, your actions, everything is just your reality.
Right.
So
It's a product of every
Yeah.
choice you made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any lessons you've learned over the course of the past, say, 4 to 5 years, from grade, say, 10 to now, that if you could redo, you would do differently?
I think it's something I definitely still struggle with, but I try not to think too hard about doing things. My mom has constantly told me, like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's meant to be is gonna be, whether it's in the time that you expect it to be or not. Like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So I think I really try not to think. Like, if something goes my way and I'm interested, can I do this right now? And if I can, then I'm like, okay, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Emily, I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. It was
Oh,
awesome.
I'm glad. That's good to know. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.